Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today, inshallah, we will talk about a new topic which is vessels and nerves of anterior compartment of arm. I have discussed the muscles of the anterior compartment of arm in my previous lecture. I will give the link in the description. Now we will discuss the vessels and the nerves of the anterior compartment of arm. First of all, the artery which is present in the anterior compartment of arm is the brachial artery. From the name it implies that it is present in arm because brachium means arm. So it is present in arm. See here in this diagram, this red colored artery is a brachial artery. It is the continuation of the axillary artery. See here, the axillary artery which is present in the axilla is the continuation of the subclavian artery. Okay, so this is the same artery which is subclavian artery which is present in the neck. When comes in the axilla becomes the axillary artery, and when comes in the arm it becomes the brachial artery. So it is the same artery or a single artery which is named differently in different areas. Subclavian artery in the neck, axillary artery in the axilla, and brachial artery in the arm. It is present at the lower border of the teres major muscle. Up till the teres major muscle, it was axillary artery. But when it comes out of the lower border of the teres major muscle, it becomes the brachial artery. It descends close to the medial side of the coracobrachialis muscle. See here there will be coracobrachialis muscle, and the brachial artery will be on the medial side of the coracobrachialis muscle and the biceps muscle. And it comes in the cubital fossa. See here, it is coming in the cubital fossa where it terminates opposite to the neck of the radius. Okay, it will go on the lateral side and it will terminate at the neck of the radius. What are the relations of the brachial artery? First of all, some of the structures which are present anteriorly. So it is overlapped by the medial side of the coracobrachialis, okay, and the biceps muscle. It is crossed by the median nerve. You can see here in this diagram, it is crossed by the median nerve from lateral to medial side. First of all, the median nerve is over the lateral side of the brachial artery, and then it crosses anteriorly and comes on the medial side of the brachial artery. At its termination, it is crossed by the bicipital aponeurosis. See here, the bicipital aponeurosis is anterior to the brachial artery. Now the structures which are present posteriorly, it descends on the long and the medial head of the triceps, insertion of the coracobrachialis and the brachialis muscle. So the structures which are present posteriorly are the long and the medial head of the triceps muscle, because triceps is present in the posterior compartment, and the insertion of the coracobrachialis muscle and the brachialis muscle. They are present posterior to the brachial artery. Now, what are the structures which are present laterally? In the upper half, you can see here the median nerve is present laterally, and there is the coracobrachialis muscle which is present laterally. In the lower half, biceps brachii muscle is present in the lateral part. Okay, so there are three structures which are present laterally. In the upper half, we have a median nerve and the coracobrachialis muscle, and in the lower half, we have the biceps brachii muscle which is present lateral to the brachial artery. What are the structures which are present medially? See here, in the upper half, we have the ulnar nerve. This is the ulnar nerve. We have medial branch of the medial cutaneous nerve of the arm, okay, and forearm also. So medial cutaneous nerve of the arm, medial cutaneous nerve of the forearm, and there will be basalic vein which is present medially. And in the lower half, we can see the median nerve which has come from lateral to the medial side, and it is present medially to the brachial artery in the lower half. Now, what are the branches of the brachial artery? We have to see this. Number one is the profunda brachii artery. Profunda means deep. So, it is the deep branch of the brachial artery or the deep branch of the arm. Then there are many muscular branches because it will supply the muscles of the anterior compartment of arm. Then it will give the nutrient artery of the humerus which will supply the bone. Then there is superior ulnar collateral artery. See here in this diagram, this is the superior ulnar collateral artery. This superior ulnar collateral artery will anastomose with the posterior ulnar recurrent artery which is coming out from the ulnar artery. Then there is one inferior ulnar collateral artery. It is divided into anterior branch which will anastomose with anterior ulnar recurrent, and a posterior branch which will anastomose with the posterior ulnar recurrent artery. So the superior ulnar collateral artery and the posterior branch of the inferior ulnar collateral artery, they will anastomose with the posterior ulnar recurrent artery. And then the brachial artery will be divided into two terminal branches, which are radial artery on the radial side and the ulnar artery on the ulnar side. Again, I will explain the branches of the brachial artery. Number one is the profunda brachii artery, which is the deep branch. Profunda means deep. There are many muscular branches. Nutrient artery of the humerus, superior ulnar collateral artery, inferior ulnar collateral artery, and terminal branches which are radial artery and the ulnar artery. You can see all these branches in this diagram. First of all, see here, this is the brachial artery. The first branch which it will gives is the profunda brachii artery. So this is the profunda brachii artery, and this is the humeral nutrient artery which it supplies the humerus bone. Then there is the superior ulnar collateral, inferior ulnar collateral, okay, which will anastomose with the anterior and posterior ulnar recurrent arteries. Then there are two terminal branches which are the ulnar artery on the ulnar side and the radial artery on the radial side. So here there is profunda brachii artery, there is humeral nutrient artery, there are many muscular branches here, superior ulnar collateral, inferior ulnar collateral, then ulnar artery and the radial artery. In this diagram also you can see the brachial artery. This is the brachial artery and this is the median nerve which is present on the lateral side in the upper half and the medial side on the lower half. And the ulnar nerve comes on the medial side of the brachial artery. So this is the ulnar nerve and this one is the median nerve. See here, it is on the lateral side and then it will comes on the medial side, okay. The brachial artery relatively superficial and palpable throughout its course. It lies anterior to the triceps muscle and the brachialis muscle. We have discussed before also that the triceps and the brachialis, they lie on the posterior side of the brachial artery. At first, it lies medial to the humerus. See here in this diagram, the brachial artery is medial to the humerus, where its pulsations are palpable in the medial bicipital groove. Okay, it then passes anterior to the medial supracondylar ridge and trochlea of the humerus. This is the trochlea of the humerus and here there is the medial supracondylar ridge. So the brachial artery lies anterior to the medial supracondylar ridge of the humerus and the trochlea of the humerus. As it passes inferior-laterally, the brachial artery accompanies the median nerve which crosses anterior to the artery. So median nerve is anterior to the artery in the lower half. First the median nerve is medial and then it will becomes on the lateral side. During its course through the arm, the brachial artery gives rise to many unnamed muscular branches and the humeral nutrient artery. Okay, we have discussed before also. Now we will discuss the profunda brachii artery. The profunda brachii artery is the deep artery of the arm. It is the largest branch of the brachial artery and it has the most superior origin. See here, it is the first branch which is coming out from the brachial artery. The profunda brachii artery accompanies the radial nerve along the radial groove as it passes posteriorly along the shaft of the humerus. So it will go posteriorly and it will lie along the radial nerve. The profunda brachii artery terminates by dividing into middle and the radial collateral arteries. Okay, there will be middle collateral and the radial collateral arteries which participate in the anastomosis around the elbow joint. Now we will discuss the humeral nutrient artery. See here, this is the nutrient artery which supplies the humerus bone. It arises from the brachial artery around the middle of the arm and enters the nutrient canal on the anterior medial surface of the humerus. The artery runs distally in the canal towards the elbow. Other humeral nutrient arteries also occur. Now, the superior ulnar collateral artery, it arises from the medial aspect of the brachial artery. This is the superior ulnar collateral artery. It will arise from the medial aspect of the brachial artery near the middle of the arm. It accompanies the ulnar nerve because ulnar nerve is also present on the medial side. Okay, so it will accompany the ulnar nerve posterior to the medial epicondyle of the humerus. See here, this is the medial epicondyle of the humerus, and it will pass behind the medial epicondyle of the humerus. This behind or posterior is very, very important, that the ulnar nerve and the superior ulnar collateral artery, they lie behind the medial epicondyle of the humerus. Here it anastomoses with the posterior ulnar collateral, posterior ulnar recurrent artery, and the inferior ulnar collateral artery, participating in the periarticular anastomosis of the elbow. The inferior ulnar collateral artery, this is the inferior ulnar, arises from the brachial artery approximately 5 cm proximal to the elbow crease. It then passes inferior-medially anterior to the medial epicondyle of the humerus. Remember this thing, that the superior ulnar collateral was behind the medial epicondyle of the humerus, but the inferior ulnar collateral is anterior to the medial epicondyle of the humerus, and it joins the periarticular arterial anastomosis of the elbow region by anastomosing with anterior ulnar recurrent artery. So inferior ulnar collateral anastomose with anterior ulnar recurrent artery, and the superior ulnar collateral artery anastomose with the posterior ulnar recurrent artery. Now we will discuss the veins of the arm. See here, there are two sets of veins in the arm. One are superficial veins and one are deep veins, which anastomose freely with one another. Okay, the light blue colored veins are superficial veins. See here, this is superficial vein which is in light blue color. This is also superficial vein, but the dark blue colored veins are the deep veins. The superficial veins, they lie in the superficial fascia or the superficial subcutaneous tissue, and the deep veins, they accompany the arteries. Both sets of veins have valves, but they are more numerous in the deep veins as compared to the superficial veins. The two superficial veins of the arm are the basalic vein and the cephalic vein. We know this thing, that the basalic vein lies on the medial side of the arm and the cephalic vein lies on the lateral side of the arm and the forearm. Deep veins, they lie along with the arteries, and they are of collectively constituting. For example, they are accompanying the arteries, so they will be of the same name as that of the arteries. Okay, for example, if there is a brachial artery, so there will be brachial vein. It accompanies the brachial artery. The pulsation of the brachial artery help move the blood through this venous network. The brachial vein begin at the elbow. See here, there will be paired brachial vein, and they begin at the elbow by the union of the accompanying veins of the ulnar and the radial arteries. For example, if there is the radial artery, so there will be radial vein, and if there is the ulnar artery, so there will be ulnar vein. So these two veins, they will come together and they will form the paired brachial vein. This brachial vein, they will end with merging with the basalic vein. See here, these are the paired brachial vein. They will merge with the basalic vein and enter into the axillary vein. This is the axillary vein. So brachial vein along with the basalic vein on the medial side, they will enter the axillary vein. Now we will discuss the median nerve. Okay, some of the nerves of the anterior compartment of arm. Number one is the median nerve. It is formed lateral to the third part of the axillary artery by the union of the medial root and the lateral root. See here, this is the medial root of the median nerve, and this is the lateral root of the median nerve. They will join together to form the median nerve. It descends lateral to the third part of the axillary artery and the upper half of the brachial artery. First, it is lateral. See here, this is lateral. In the middle of the arm, it crosses in front of the artery, and in the lower part of the arm, it descends on the medial side of the artery. So remember this thing, we have discussed this point again and again, that median nerve is first of all in lateral to the brachial artery, then it comes anterior to the artery, and in the lower half it is in the medial side of the brachial artery. It continues into the forearm by passing between the two heads of the pronator teres muscle. Here there will be one muscle which is called as pronator teres muscle, and the median nerve will cross in between the two heads of the pronator teres muscle. The median nerve does not have any branch in the axilla or in the arm. Only it gives vascular twigs to the brachial artery, and it gives nerve to the pronator teres, which can arise just above the elbow. Because it is crossing the pronator teres, so it will supply the pronator teres. This is the rule. that if any nerve crosses in between some muscle, then it will supply that muscle. See here in this diagram, this is the median nerve. It is formed from the medial root and the lateral root. This is median nerve. Okay, it is lateral to the brachial artery, then it will come anterior, and then it will be on the medial side of the brachial artery, and then when it crosses the elbow, it will pass through the pronator teres. See here, this is the nerve to the pronator teres, so it will cross the pronator teres and it will give one branch to the pronator teres. Now we will discuss the ulnar nerve. Okay, this root value is C7, C8 and T1. It is a branch from the medial cord of the brachial plexus. Fibers from C7 reach the ulnar nerve from the lateral root of the median nerve. The nerve descends close to the medial side of the third part of the axillary artery and the brachial artery. See here in this diagram also that the ulnar nerve is present on the medial side of the brachial artery. Okay, it will remember on the medial side of the brachial artery. In the middle of the arm, the nerve pierces the medial intermuscular septum. See here, the ulnar nerve, it pierces the medial intermuscular septum and it goes to the posterior compartment where it descends in front of the medial head of the triceps with the superior ulnar collateral artery. The nerve reaches the back of the medial epicondyle. This point is very, very important, that the ulnar nerve reaches the back or the posterior side of the medial epicondyle. It continues to the front of the forearm by passing between the two heads of the flexor carpi ulnaris muscle. Flexor carpi ulnaris muscle. So it will supply that muscle also. Okay, this can come in your MCQ, that the ulnar nerve crosses the two heads of which muscle? The flexor carpi ulnaris muscle. It also have no branch in the axilla and in the arm. See here in this diagram, this is the ulnar nerve. Here it is very clear that it passing behind the medial epicondyle of the humerus. Okay, it has no branch in the axilla and the arm. It will come in the forearm and it will cross through the flexor carpi ulnaris muscle. Now we will discuss the musculocutaneous nerve. It is a branch from the lateral cord of the brachial plexus that comes in MCQ, that the musculocutaneous nerve is a branch from the lateral cord or the medial cord or the posterior cord. So it is branch from the lateral cord of the brachial plexus. This nerve takes origin close to the lateral side of the third part of the axillary artery between it and the coracobrachialis muscle. So it crossed the coracobrachialis muscle. We have discussed three nerves. Number one, the median nerve crosses the pronator teres. Ulnar nerve crosses the flexor carpi ulnaris, and this is the third nerve, the musculocutaneous nerve. It crosses the coracobrachialis muscle. It pierces that muscle. Then it lies between the biceps and the brachialis muscle. Close to the lateral side of the biceps tendon, the nerve pierces the deep fascia to continue down as the lateral cutaneous nerve of the forearm. This point is also very, very important, that musculocutaneous nerve continues as lateral cutaneous nerve of the forearm in the forearm. See here, this is the lateral cutaneous nerve of the forearm. It gives branches to the coracobrachialis muscle, to the long head of the biceps, to the short head of the biceps, to the brachialis muscle, and it continues as the lateral cutaneous nerve of the forearm. So these are the branches. First of all, the muscular branches to the coracobrachialis, to the biceps, to the brachialis, one articular branch to the elbow joint, and then the terminal branch, or it is the continuation as the lateral cutaneous nerve of the forearm. The musculocutaneous nerve begins opposite the inferior border of the pectoralis minor muscle, pierces the coracobrachialis. This is also very important, and this point is also very important, that it continues distally between the biceps and the brachialis muscle. After supplying all three muscles of the anterior compartment of arm, which are the coracobrachialis, biceps and the brachialis muscle, the musculocutaneous nerve emerges lateral to the biceps and it continues as the lateral cutaneous branch of the forearm. It becomes truly subcutaneous when it pierces the deep fascia proximal to the cubital fossa to course initially with the cephalic vein in the subcutaneous tissue. After crossing the anterior aspect of the elbow, it continues to supply the skin of the lateral aspect of the forearm. Now, we will discuss some of the clinical applications. First of all, injury to the musculocutaneous nerve. Injury to the musculocutaneous nerve in the axilla is typically inflicted by a weapon such as a knife. A musculocutaneous nerve injury results in the paralysis of three muscles, which are coracobrachialis muscle, the biceps brachii, and the brachialis muscle. Because it is supplying all these three muscles, so there will be paralysis of these three muscles. Weak flexion may occur at the shoulder joint owing to the injury of the musculocutaneous nerve affecting the long head of the biceps and the coracobrachialis. So flexion will be weak. There will be weak flexion because the coracobrachialis and the biceps, they are the flexors at the shoulder joint. Consequently, flexion of the elbow joint and the supination of the forearm are greatly weakened, but they are not lost. Weak flexion and the supination are still possible, produced by the brachioradialis and the supinator respectively, because the brachioradialis produces the flexion and supinator causes the supination, and they are supplied by the radial nerve. So there is weak flexion and supination. They are still possible because the radial nerve is intact. So it is supplying brachioradialis and supinator muscle, and they will do the flexion and the supination. Loss of sensation may occur on the lateral surface of the forearm because the musculocutaneous nerve is continued as the lateral antebrachial nerve, okay, or antebrachial cutaneous nerve, which is the continuation of the musculocutaneous. So there will be the loss of sensation on the lateral aspect of the forearm. Now, the injury to the ulnar nerve. Ulnar nerve in the arm passes distally from the axilla anterior to the insertion of the teres major and to the long head of the triceps on the medial side of the brachial artery. Around the middle of the arm, it pierces the medial intermuscular septum with the superior ulnar collateral artery and descends behind the septum and the medial head of the triceps. The ulnar nerve passes posterior to the medial epicondyle and medial to the olecranon process to enter the forearm. Posterior to the medial epicondyle, where the ulnar nerve is referred in the lay term as a funny bone. So ulnar nerve is named as funny bone. In MCQs, it can be asked that ulnar nerve is a funny bone. The ulnar nerve is superficial, easily palpable, and vulnerable to injury. Like the median nerve, the ulnar nerve has no branch in the arm, but it only supplies the articular branches to the elbow joint.